Testing. Testin? I'm telling you, every time you do that, the table moves. I don't know. It's like you're so strong. Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
She-Hulk. I mean, I'm kind of impressed, I gotta be honest.
You're impressed by what?
By every time that you move that, the table moves.
Well, because these things are like...
No, it's your strength.
It's like the jaws of life. Oh my God. Why does it keep doing this? No.
And you're making it worse, but it's so great. The jaws of life, baby. Microphone edition. Catch it at a dollar theater near you.
It's not.
Here, let me hold the table steady. Here. Okay, make your movements.
I can't. I'm honestly so upset. I'm shaking. I'm physically shaking.
They're just hands.
Get his dick sucked to round up.
By the way, this is just our cold open. Everyone's like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Hey, y'all. Welcome to Reality Bites, the podcast where we'll deep dive into this week's buzziest reality TV and pop culture happenings.
I'm Betsy, and while I may be 9 to 5 by day, I'm a reality connoisseur by night.
And I'm JJ, a reality TV producer by trade, but my favorite pastime is dishing unfiltered dirt and behind-the-scenes scoop. We'll tackle the biggest and best water cooler moments of the week through an insider lens you won't find anywhere else.
Buckle up, buttercups.
Please don't tell me it's about Tom.
It's about Tom.
This is Reality Bites.
It's like we need to have some lube for these
Honestly,
days.
Jesus fucking Christ.
We need to lube it up, baby. Lube it up. I feel like I'm out of breath and I didn't even do anything. That's how much.
Well, I didn't do anything either. Like, I didn't physically exert myself. I mean, I've been trying to set this fucking thing up for an hour.
Yeah, we're emotionally exhausted. We're spent.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about?
I gotta admit, what? I already feel exhausted before we've even started. Like, I'm tired.
Yeah. Well, you're exhausted. That's, to me, more than just tired. I feel like it, like,
what do you mean?
It's one thing to be like, oh yeah, I'm tired, but like I feel like sometimes like feeling exhausted and run down, it's like, you know, the Olympics of being tired.
Well, yeah, but I'm exhausted and run down before I even started recapping because I'm exhausted by the content.
Oh, you're trying to relay it to Jersey. I was going to got it.
Yes, that's
all right. Bravo.
In case anybody was curious, we are recording a podcast and Betsy just didn't realize that. She didn't know that I was trying to relate my exhaustion.
She was trying to do her job and I don't know what I was doing.
Yeah, I was trying to make a joke per usual and Betsy didn't land and she thinks that I'm stupid. So here's that.
No, I don't. I obviously wasn't focusing. Now I'm focused.
Are you?
Yeah.
You here? Look at me.
Yeah.
Eye to eye.
Yeah.
Okay.
Matey. Yeah.
What?
Matey. Aye, matey.
No. What? What is that? Aye, matey?
It's a pirate, isn't it?
Honestly, I thought it's because you've been watching too much of Polly on Jersey. So you're like trying to do like an Irish accent. Like,
no. Oh yeah, that was very odd. No, yeah. I was just trying to be a normal pirate, but I guess that didn't land. So now we're even.
It didn't land.
Yeah.
It was shipwrecked.
Oh,
did you like that?
Yeah, I did.
You did?
Yeah. Well, this was a rough one.
It was. And the thing is that you prepared me for this. You prepared me. You said you're going to get mad.
And I was only 8 minutes into the episode when I texted JJ, I said, I'm only 8 minutes in, but buckle up because this is going to be frustrating.
Here's the thing. I don't want to buckle up. I want to die in this car crash because I want this storyline to be over. Yeah. I'm sick of it.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm 35 years old. Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I have been watching this unfold since I was 22. Wow. I'm done.
Yeah.
I have grown since then. I've evolved.
But they haven't.
They have not.
That's why it's still happening.
I can't take it anymore. Mm-hmm. If I have to hear, fix it with my brother, fix it, I'm going to scream. If I have to hear, no, you fix it with your brother, I'm going, I can't,
Wow.
I can't take it.
I love that you just elevated Melissa to like an 80-year-old smoker, because that's what that sounded like. And that actually landed so well.
Yeah,
I thought
it
it
was
was
terrible.
great. No, I thought it was actually really an improvement.
I can't take it anymore. I'm sick
Yeah.
of the lies. All you had to do was just come to me and I would have fixed it. No, you would not have, Teresa. Here's the thing. I really can't even pick a side in this episode. I land nowhere.
There's no side.
Because they both weaponize everything with each other that we circled to drain. I have been on a hamster wheel for 12 fucking years listening to each other say, fix it, fix it. If it was Joe, it was fix it with the husband. If it was fucking other Joe Giudice, you just have to fix it. You just have to fix it. I'm over it. No one's fixing anything. What do you mean fix it? At this point, I want to not fix at all. I just want them to stop talking.
Yeah. I think unfortunately we're at the point where we as the viewers don't even care if they never talk again. Like, I feel like maybe a handful of seasons ago, especially after the father passed away and, you know, Joe got deported. Like, I think still even then we were kind of hoping as a viewer, like maybe Joe and Teresa and Melissa will finally kind of come together. Maybe they can, you know, work it out. But I don't think with everything,
I don't think they want to work it out.
No. And with everything they've gone through, if it hasn't happened yet, it's not happening.
Yeah.
And I think now finally the viewers, we're so sick of seeing it that we're like, we don't care. I'll speak for myself. I don't fucking care.
I could not give
Exit
a
to the
flying
left,
fuck.
exit to the right, exit to the sky. Get out of the show. And I just like, I don't want to see it anymore. And, you know, I'm always a little bit in the corner with Teresa just because individually I like her for the show because I think she brings more comedy. But they're both so fucking wrong. And it's not even a fight. It's just, you know, all they do is say the same thing to each other that they say. So it's like, you didn't show up to my party. Well, no, you didn't show up to my party 2 years ago. Well, no, but I brought a cake. Well, no, you show up to my party and you brought those cookies. Like, all of this shit, they're saying the same thing. The reason they're mad at each other is for the same fucking reason. You didn't stick up for me. Well, you didn't stick up for your brother. Well, you didn't do X, Y, and Z. Well, you didn't do it. It's the same fucking thing over and over and over again. And I think that's why it is hard to pick a side because, frankly, whether you fall Team Teresa, Team Melissa, or Team Nobody, they're both wrong. They're both wrong. Melissa sucks, Joe sucks, Teresa sucks, and Louis sucks. They all suck. Now, I just like Teresa better because I think she adds more comedy to the show and I enjoy her individually. So, like, I will root for her independently, but, like, in the circumstance, they all fucking suck. And they're all wrong. And I'm sick of seeing it because I think we're at a point, no matter what, nobody's going to budge. Nobody's really going to say, you know what? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm wrong. Let's move on. And if they are, the other side's going to be like, you were wrong and you should move on, but we're not. I mean, it's just like, I can't.
Yeah.
That's what this episode was to me. It felt like a chore to watch this episode. It really, really did.
Yeah, but with chores, you accomplish something. Like, there's an end result.
Wow.
And there's something to celebrate. Because
I guess that's true.
It may be tough to do or challenging or you don't want to do it. But ultimately, in the end, you feel proud of yourself. Like working out. Working out feels like a chore.
Okay.
But you know that when you're done with it, you're going to feel good.
Got it.
Nothing about this feels good.
So it's like me going to work out and then going to hit up Taco Bell. Is that
Correct.
counterproductive? Okay. All right. Well, that's really what it felt like.
Yeah. Or it's saying, I'm going to go work out, but your workout is just getting to the gym. And then you leave immediately. It's like it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't.
You drove
do
there.
anything. Exactly.
You know what I mean? But I showed up. You didn't open the door, but I was there. You should have told me to open the door, but you didn't tell me to open the door, so I left. You should have known that you could have just opened the door yourself, but you didn't tell me to open the door. That's how silly of a conversation we're listening to.
So how can you say that you were working out if you actually never went into the gym? Like, it's just fucking constant. It makes my head want to explode.
I think we're just reaching the expiration date big time.
Reaching? This milk has been expired for a long time.
Well, I mean, it's
curdled.
But it's gross.
It's gone. Have you ever?
Well, I forgot that you love milk, so you really know the timeline and
Well, I
the
was just about
lifespan
to
of
ask
milk.
you if you've ever seen curdled milk.
No, I mean, not in person. I don't hang out with milk like that, though. We don't have that relationship. Maybe, like, I was going to say almond milk, but no, not even that. I've never seen. So,
Okay, all right. We're not going to drag me this episode.
no, we're
about my
not.
milk,
We're not.
Okay? But yeah, this entire episode just felt really exhausting. And what's so funny is that I'm just talking about the end. I'm talking about the big to-do at the Fudas.
Mm-hmm.
I've already forgotten about Pizzagate. That's a whole other fucking layer. Which, by the way, I had to watch that scene 45 times. I think I rewatched it so much, I spent like 25 minutes on that scene.
Yes, I can confirm that she did that.
You can't fix stupid. And that's how I felt.
Well,
I don't even understand what's going on with
let's talk about that. Because when I watched it, I was very confused. I was confused because let's call it what it is. Both parties are bad storytellers, but they're also, you know, I think purposefully leaving out stuff, both sides. So when you add that together, it makes a recipe for a disaster because nobody, like, I don't know what's going on. And I will be the first to say, I'm not a businesswoman. I've never been on Shark Tank. So like sometimes like business stuff doesn't always like land. I'll have to like really figure out what they're talking about. Mm-hmm. But what I heard on this show, I don't think that they know what they're talking about, or they're deliberately leaving stuff out because, you know, they have to make each side look positive, which I think there's probably some aspect to that. But it was a fucking mess and it was confusing, which makes sense why you had to watch it 45 times. And you still don't know what happened.
I still don't.
It's a mystery.
I mean, I don't understand how anybody else knew what they were talking about.
No. Well, I don't think they did.
Well, we start off the episode. Everyone's in their respective homes. Everyone's doing breakfast. They're just trying to process the night before. And by processing, I mean they're trying to get through their hangover. Everyone's hungover. Mm-hmm. Okay. We're at the Gorga's house. Really, it's kind of like the Gorga's house versus Jen's house.
Yes. And they're eating Jen's.
Correct. And they're intercutting both conversations. And I got to be honest with you, I really kind of don't understand what's going on. Mm-hmm. Because this is where we first learn about Pizzagate, which I got to be honest, really irritated me because why is it the first time we're hearing about this? There's so much acrimony between everyone. And really, I mean, the Gorgas and the Giudices, that if we had known this information earlier on, we might have an understanding as to why there's so much contention. But we're just finding out now. Mm-hmm. And the reason is because Teresa and Joe don't want to bury each other. That's literally what they're fucking doing.
Yeah.
I don't understand. So we start this episode and I'm already pissed. Why are we just finding this out? Why hasn't this been talked about? This is so fucking annoying to me. All of this is annoying. Melissa doesn't understand why her family's not invited. Teresa doesn't want to invite her family to the fucking wedding. But
who cares? There's
an added layer to this. There's a $250,000 business deal that's gone wrong. And we've all been trying to understand like why they hate each other this season. I'm going, well, this is some pertinent information that we haven't gotten. And now we understand that they hate each other because $250,000 went in the gutter.
Yeah, I don't think that it has so much to do with the mother-in-law not being invited, but I do think it has a lot to do with why they are having such issues and maybe why Melissa's not in the wedding and all that. Right. It's probably a domino effect, but I agree. And Teresa in her confessional being like, well, I never wanted to bring this up. And I wanted to give a shout out to post-production because whoever did the music for that scene when it was like, well, just tell us what's going on. The mystery music was there. I was on the edge of my seat. I was like, what the fuck is about to happen? And I'm so burnt out on this storyline, but I was really intrigued because the music was like, there's a story here. We're about to tell it. Mm-hmm. Now it ended up being a terrible story, but I just wanted to give a shout out to the post production for adding that music in because I thought that was a very nice touch.
Well, yeah, it allowed me to know that I was going to be annoyed.
Well, I had the high hopes. I was like, there's a story here with this kind of music. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, oh, wait, I don't know what's happening with first of all, what was it called? The pizza oven?
And I was like, I thought it was a pizzeria at first. And then no, it wasn't a pizzeria. It was a pizza oven.
I was like, oh, it's like a spinoff of like, Sonia and her, toaster oven. But then I was like, wait, but now we're talking about like a pizza place. Like I was very confused.
I don't give a fuck about a pizza oven.
Confusion right off the bat. Mm-hmm. But I think to your point, like your frustration coming in, because I think that they were trying to do a good job intercutting both stories, right? It's like, okay, Teresa's now the one, she's going to talk about it first, but then we're going to go to Joe's side and we're going to intercut it. But both stories were so convoluted and like, I was like, I don't even know what to believe. I don't even know whose side to be on. I mean, I'm not on Joey and Melissa's side, but I'm also like Teresa and Louis sounds bad and not fake, but like obviously like there's things missing from every inch of the story. So how am I supposed to, how is anyone supposed to really know what's going on here? And after you watched it 45 times, did you come up with anything else?
The only conclusion that I drew that I felt confident in was the fact that the Gorgas didn't have enough money to put into this company.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah. Because the math wasn't mathing. Okay.
Math ain't mathin', y'all.
Joe had an idea. Go figure. Okay. He had a fucking idea.
He had a dream, okay? He had a dream.
Exactly. He had a dream. He had an idea. And it was for him and his sister to be the face of Nonno's pizza oven.
Yeah.
to pay tribute to
We're
their father.
not laughing at Nonno.
No.
It's just, the transition.
Exactly.
It's a bit tough.
Okay. So he had this idea, pizza oven. He and his sister go in on it. Okay. Teresa said, I don't think it's a good idea.
Well, it's not a good idea to be with work with family.
Correct.
This is with family. Yeah.
Correct. Teresa didn't want Louis to invest in it because she just didn't think it was a good idea to intermix business and family and friends and all that shit, which I got to be honest, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I 100% wholeheartedly agree. And I'm going, no, why? At least she had the wherewithal to go, do not do this.
Yeah.
But then what did Louis do? Talk to his attorney, say, hey, put 250 in, do it. Joe will be 5% of the company. Okay. That math wasn't mathing. So then I'm going, okay. So I honestly feel like an SAT question. I was like, all right. So if Louis puts in 250,000 and the attorney then says Joe's portion of the company is 5%. So then what does that make the valuation of the company? And I'm like, wait, I'm confused. What's going on here? So Joe doesn't like the fact that the attorney says, no, 5%.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But then Joe later on says, well, he had the 200,000. So if Joe's part in the company is 5% and he puts in 200,000 and Louis puts in 250 and his part is 95, I'm like, this is not making sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
No, Louis's part in the company would be 55% and Joe's would be 45%.
Mm-hmm.
That probably doesn't quite add up, but you get the gist.
Yes.
Well, then Louis and Teresa both go, okay, well, Joe didn't put the money in. So we went ahead and did the orders for the pizza oven. But then at the same time, Louis goes, I lost out on money.
Yeah.
I'm like, nothing is quite adding up.
Well, but we get the story of him losing out on the money from Louis. Mm-hmm. And then we get the story of the boxes from Joe. So who knows what the fucking story is? And also, who the fuck is the nephew?
By the way, I was like, who? Nephew? Him? All I heard was him. And I was like, wait, who's the nephew?
Guys, the real thinker in this piece is who is the nephew that Joe Gorga is talking about?
Don't lie.
Who is it?
That's the thing I got stuck on the most.
Yes.
I was thinking, wait, is this Louis' son? So step nephew or soon to be nephew? And then I'm like, wait, does Teresa have a child that no one knows about? And then you made a good point. You were like, well, maybe it's Melissa's sister's son. And I'm like, I don't know enough about Melissa, nor do I care to know enough about Melissa to know that she has a nephew.
Yeah.
Who's the nephew?
So we were really thrown by that.
Yeah. Then I thought maybe it's like an Italian like verbiage, like in Mexican families, right? We all have cousins, we all have aunts. They may not be our actual aunts, but they're our aunts, right?
Yeah.
So I thought, is it that? I got so frustrated in this entire scene. At first, I thought, okay, I don't really know what story we're telling. And then my second thought was, I feel so horrible for the post team. And I feel so horrible for the field team because they're like, this is the best that they could do. And it ain't real much. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah.
So ultimately, what I gathered was that Joe felt as though Louis undermined him by going on and manufacturing these ovens without telling Joe that he was doing that. And then Teresa and Louis said, well, yeah, he didn't give us the money. So of course we went ahead and did that.
Yeah. And
Joe's saying, I always had the money.
Well, where was it?
No clue. He's like, what? You think that, I don't have $200,000?
Yes, I do think that.
100%.
And I think, both sides are confusing. And I think what we have to keep in mind that both sides are not going to really tell the full story because both of them have to appear in a light that they're right and the other one's wrong, right? That's clear as day. Mm-hmm. But I will say the Louis and Teresa stuff makes a little bit more sense. Like I can imagine because Joe is forthcoming and saying, I had this idea. I wanted to do this pizza thing and I brought it, I wanted to be Teresa and me and I brought it to Louis and, he said, yeah, let's do it. So he puts in the 250. Now, we don't know what's happening. We don't know what other conversations they're having behind closed doors and all that. But I think it seems plausible that if he's saying Louis put in 250 and Louis and Teresa are saying he put in 250, that probably is what happened. And then maybe then Teresa's like, no, I don't know. This is a good idea. Go talk to your lawyer, whatever. And he's saying, okay, well, I'm the one that's putting in the 250. Let's talk about Joe. And, oh, what did Joe do? Oh, well, he said, let's do it. Let's have, this pizza joint. Okay. That's 5%. Like, I think as a lawyer, he's trying to deal with what he has. And so I think the facts of the case are that Louis put 250 down, that Joe did get offered 5%. I think Joe even said like, that's bullshit. So I think those are the two facts that we know. 250 was down by Louis and Joe was offered 5%. The other stuff is like blah, 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 like a mishmash, who done it? Who done it? Because that's when it gets really goofy and everyone's saying X, Y, and Z. So we don't really know much beyond that. But what I will say is if Joe and Melissa had the money and they could have done this themselves, why the fuck would they have included Louis?
Exactly.
And listen, I, in my heart of hearts, want to believe that Joe and Teresa can somehow get together. Now I don't believe that anymore. Like, I think that's donezo. So I don't believe that if Joe didn't have the money, that he would have even asked Louis to entertain this idea. He would have taken it and done it on his own. And that scene when he's like, you don't think I have $200,000? And well, no, I don't, because then why is there any issue? Why is there any issue? And again, I'm not trying to be like Louis and Teresa are right. They did everything correct. This whole story is a mess. But if I'm only looking at what I can tell based on what they're telling me, to me, Joe and Melissa's side seems a lot like, wait, what? What's going on? Whose nephew? What pizza box? What happened? Like what? Like at least there seems some concrete facts on the other side with Teresa and Louis.
Yeah.
But I guess he quote unquote ate that money. He just ate the 250, which I'm like, okay.
Well, I don't necessarily buy that.
I don't know if I do either.
Here's what I think happened. I think Joe came to them with the idea and he wanted 50% simply for the idea.
Wow,
and I don't think that he had ever intended to put in 200,000. I think he was going to put in less.
That's a joke.
And I think that he wanted a percentage for having the idea.
Yes.
And for being involved and for being the face.
Very much like Schwartz and Sandy's.
Correct.
I'm the name, baby, and I came up with the concept.
Exactly. So when Louis went to the attorney's like, no, his equity in this company without putting any actual cash in is 5%.
Yeah. And I agree.
And then when Joe couldn't fucking fork up, they said, fuck it. Let's just do it. So Joe's mad that he didn't have the money to put in the company and then he got pushed out and that they think that he took their idea. Here's the thing. It's a fucking pizza oven. Okay. You didn't reinvent the fucking wheel here. Okay. It's a pizza oven. There are other pizza ovens out there. Stop trying to make it seem like you had this intellectual property that they fucking stole from you. Like they stole a patent or something. You didn't invent penicillin. It's a fucking pizza oven.
Yeah.
Stop.
Well, that's why I was confused. Is it a pizza oven or are they trying to open up a restaurant? That's why I was also very confused. I was like, I don't know what's happening here.
Well, because I think boxes led you to believe like pizza boxes.
That's right. Yeah.
But I think
they
were
were
boxes for
like
the oven.
The product.
Yes.
Yeah. That's why I was like, I don't understand what the big deal is. It's just a bunch of cardboard. But yeah, it's a whole big mess. But it just goes into the narrative that they're right, they're wrong, they're wrong, they're right. It's aligned in the sand and it's over. I really do believe. And now that we know that they don't actually go to the wedding, like it really is, I really don't see a path forward for either of them.
No.
And I got to tell you, as much as I love family and I want everything to always work out, like Hallmark, Disney Vision, I don't want to see it anymore.
No.
And I don't care. I don't care at this point. I think which is so sad, I think they bring the worst out of each other. And I think they're honestly probably better off on their own.
Yeah.
And let the kids figure it out. The kids are kind of grown now. They can still have a relationship. They can still figure it out and do things independently from their parents. But I think it's better for both parties to say la vie.
I just don't think they know how to do that because it's unnatural to them. It's unnatural given how they were all raised. And I think that that's their biggest conflict. I think that they both know that they're not going to mend fences. But what their conflict is that it feels unnatural to go down that trajectory, which is why they find problems with each other
to stay involved.
Exactly. We're forever on the hamster wheel of no, you're wrong. No, you're wrong. Because neither one of them actually want to say, you know what? We shouldn't talk anymore because this is unhealthy. No one actually wants to bite the bullet.
Yeah.
So it's a constant hamster wheel.
Well, and that's fine. But the time is up for it being on camera.
Okay, yes, 100%. I'm
Right?
done.
Like,
I'm actually
that
surprised.
time is up.
I'm a little surprised, and we've talked about it before, that this story has continued. Because typically by now, the network would be like, all right, come on, we got to figure something out because this isn't working. And I'm thinking the only reason why they've allowed it for so long is because they're family. With other cast members, if we're circling the drain with the story over and over again, it's not that we want them to get there fast because it's just for the show. But if we've got 2 seasons, 3 seasons, at that point, the network gets involved. They step in and they cut someone out, right?
Yeah.
We cut the cancer out.
Yeah.
And we change the trajectory.
Yeah.
But because this is so layered and they're still holding on to this ideology that Jersey's concept is a familial show, and it feels like they just won't let it go. So the network needs to let it go.
Yeah. They do.
Brother and sister need to let it go. We all need to let it go.
Yeah. And I wonder if this season, because they knew they were having the big event with Teresa's wedding, I wonder if maybe there was like some hope or, desire that Joe and Melissa would show up. And it would kind of be like, oh, a nice little exclamation mark on Joe and Melissa's journey because they're out of here. They're done.
Mm-hmm.
They're done. But like maybe they were thinking like this will be kind of like a nice last moment. But then, we should know better than that.
Yeah, because the last moment for them will be someone's funeral.
Okay. So sad. That's what Louis said. I have a feeling that this is, what did he say at the end of the episode? He's like, tomorrow's not promised, and I have a feeling that this family's going to learn the hard way. Basically, what I took that as, this family is going to learn the hard way because the next time we're getting together will be for a funeral.
There's been several things that have happened over the course of 10 years that should have taught them that this was how this was going to go down. They should have learned the hard way when Teresa went to prison. They should have learned the hard way when their parents passed away.
Yeah.
And we're still not learning.
Yeah.
So what would be...
Honestly,
what
getting
would be
worse.
the reason to learn now?
They're getting worse.
There have been so many opportunities, so to speak, where you would have thought that they would have learned their lesson.
Mm-hmm.
They had a falling out, then Teresa went to prison, then they came back together. They would have falling outs, then their mother dies, and then they come back together. They have a falling out, then the father dies, and they come back together. But there's nothing left.
There's nothing to bring them back together.
No. So yeah, I agree with you. I think that we thought maybe the wedding.
Yeah.
But no way. No way were any of them going to allow Teresa's celebratory moment to bring them back together. Because they don't want Teresa to bring them back together.
Yeah.
And Teresa
Teresa's
doesn't want
tore them
Melissa.
apart.
I know, but Teresa doesn't want Melissa to bring them back together, even though she continues to this day to blame her for everything. It's Joe and Teresa. They've got to figure it out on their own. It's no one else's fault.
They do. And they always have that moment every like 3 seasons where they're like, let's just go to dinner, you and I. Let's just talk. But then all they talk about is the significant other.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's just hard to separate them.
Also, in regards to Pizzagate, I think what irritated me the most about this entire scene being intercut between both parties is that we were led to believe that Marge, Jackie, and Jen Fessler understood their story. No fucking way. No way. No way were they all sitting around that table going, we get it. No one got it. I did not understand that.
No, they didn't. And they didn't say anything because it's Joe and Melissa. That's why.
But why not?
I
what
mean-
if it's Joe and Melissa? They can't ask a question. They can't be confused and go, wait, I don't get it.
No, I don't think so.
Fine. So Marge is going to allow them to look stupid?
Yeah. I don't think Marge gives a flying fuck about anybody on this cast.
Well, she apparently does care because she was crying.
No.
She was crying.
That's something else that's going on with her that we'll find out at some point later, I imagine. I don't know. Had nothing to do with that. No, I don't want to jump too far ahead, but this was the moment that killed me. Like watching this scene that made no fucking sense with him talking about the boxes and like, this is mine. Blah, blah.
I felt gaslit.
And no one was asking any questions. No. And listen, if they did, they edited it out. But why would they edit that out? That seems silly. Nobody said anything. But guess what? That story made no fucking sense. No fucking sense.
That's what I'm saying. I felt gaslit. I was like, am I the only one sitting on the couch not understanding
then
this?
we jumped to Danielle and her talking about her brother, and they had all the fucking questions in the world. And I wanted to throw something at my TV. I didn't, because that would have been a waste of money. I'm not going to do that. But I was livid. This just doesn't make sense. This isn't adding up. There's more to the story here. Oh, but there wasn't more to that story that Joe was telling about the pizza boxes and the 20. Shut the fuck up.
It was real rich.
And that, to me, the reason I said they don't care is because it's about who you are right now. Their allies are Joe and Melissa, so they will stick. They will do anything, whatever they say, they'll go with. They're not going to ask any questions. They're not going to push back. Maybe off camera they will, but they're not going to do that on camera. But to Danielle, Teresa, whatever else, you can say the most like, oh yeah, well, we're not friends because of X, Y, and Z. Wow. There's more there. There's more there. What? No. Shut the fuck up. It's about who you are. It's about who you are. And the same person can say the exact same thing and it'll land differently depending on who you're saying it to. That's how this group is. And it's frustrating to watch. I got to be honest.
Well, I just don't know where Jackie felt that she was the one that she was second guessing Danielle's story. Like, Jackie, who are you? Who the fuck are you? The moral fucking majority? No one gives a flying fuck what you think. Well, and you know what your biggest mistake was? Thinking that we cared what you had to say about this.
No, we don't care.
We don't care, Jackie. Jackie, hear it now. We don't care what you have to say about Danielle and her story.
The problem I have with this, and I get that Jersey, of all of the franchises with housewives, I get that it is based more with family, and especially with Joe and Teresa, there's a sensitivity with brother and sister relationships that's not lost on me. I get all of that. What other fucking franchise do you see a newcomer that has mentioned kind of casually that, you know, like my brother and I don't talk, you know, there's an Instagram story and also like the sister-in-law, all that. When have you ever seen another franchise be like, well, what else is going on there? There's a story here. You're not telling us all this stuff. Why the fuck do you care so much? You know, especially you, Jackie, looking at you, but also Marge, everyone, other than Teresa, because I think Teresa's the one that knew her. I think that's the connection for Danielle. I think that's how she came in on the show. I'm pretty sure. We'll fact check that. But everyone else, they've known her what? Maybe at this point, like 10 weeks or something. I'm throwing out a random number, but not very long.
And no.
So first of all, whether you believe her story of like the Instagram stuff or not, she owes you nothing. When Jackie sat there and be like, I just don't believe this. Like, there's more. Say it. Say it. There's more. She doesn't owe you a damn thing. She doesn't owe you any part of her story at all. And that goes for the entire cast. And it just drove me insane how they were trying to just beat her down. Like, oh, well, there has to be more. I'm just confused. It can't just be the Instagram stuff.
It's like a botched interrogation. They were pushing and pushing and pushing so that she could just say what they wanted to hear, which was that there was something else.
That there was something wrong with her, that she did something. Let's call it what it is. They wanted to be like, oh, well, actually, you did X, Y, and Z.
Exactly.
Because there's no way that he would have just blocked you. Guys, don't we know that this also is another sister-in-law situation? She said this to her. She said this to Melissa, what, episode 2 or 3, when she's like, well, my brother-in-law, there's a big issue with her, with the wife. Yeah. She's already said this.
But here's my problem. They're trying to use that moment that
they're
she
baiting
said.
her. They're baiting her.
And they're trying to use it as a gotcha moment. Well, you said this, so what? Guys, here's what she meant by that. I could be wrong, but I'm going to go on a limb here and say that I'm pretty sure that this is what she means. What she's trying to say is that she's had problems with her sister-in-law over the course of years, okay? But what ultimately was the nail in the coffin was this fucking Instagram moment. I don't think it's lost on her that there are other things that led to this demise. But she's trying to say that the linchpin was that her brother was mocking her and she blocked him. And then after blocking him, he stopped talking to her.
Well, I think she said that he went like ballistic and called her a bunch of times. And then that was it.
Yes.
But
I don't think that she's saying that, you know, they had a peachy keen like fucking relationship and then the blocking is really what did it in. No, guys, it was everything cumulative, but really what drew the line in the sand was the Instagram. That's all she's saying. So they're trying to weaponize this one time that she said that she had problems with her sister-in-law as a gotcha moment. You're lying. Gotcha. No, guys, she's not lying. She's just saying that this is what happened. Either hear her or get the fuck out.
Just say it. Just say it.
Say what? And then they're all like, well, I mean, it's kind of just weird.
Who cares?
It's weird for you, though. It's weird for you. There's a lot of like, well, in my situation, or I would have done it. That's good. Good for you. Tell it to somebody who fucking cares.
Yeah.
Danielle does not.
No.
Want to know why? Because this is her own fucking situation.
Yeah.
Stop trying to make it seem as though because you would do something, Danielle should do something. And if Danielle didn't do that, well, the onus is on Danielle. Danielle's responsible for this. Shut up.
Yeah. It was driving me absolutely insane.
And not for nothing, was it lost on you that the people who were questioning what she did are the same people that blame Teresa for the reason why there's problems between Melissa and Joe and Teresa?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was very divisive.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody who was at the Gorgas, those were the people that did not believe Danielle and were questioning that it had to be Danielle. It had to be Danielle.
Jackie.
Yeah.
I mean,
why? Because they have to hold on. It's Teresa's fault, right? So it has to be Danielle's fault.
Yeah.
Get a new narrative.
And I think
Go
there's
away.
also an aspect that she's new and she's also having issues with Marge. She has her separate issues with Jackie because
I can't even fucking
So I
get
think
into
there's
that.
also part of the two of them that have a bad taste, I guess, for Danielle. So they're pushing it a little bit harder. But I got to tell you, I don't care what you think, Jackie, and I really don't care what you think, Marge. So I don't need them coming at her. And I will say I'm glad that she left. And I think people are like, well, she's definitely hiding something. Maybe she just doesn't want to deal with this bullshit. Because I'll tell you a difference right now between she and Teresa. Her brother's not on the fucking show. So it's fair game for Teresa because the brother was on the show because he's married to Melissa, who unfortunately is on the show. So it is fair game. And they have run that gauntlet for a million seasons. Danielle has said as much as she wants to say. The brother is not on the fucking show. Neither is his sister-in-law. If she doesn't want to say much more than what she's saying, then that's it.
I was just thinking that when Marge was first introduced to the show, she explained her dynamic and she explained that with her kids and not her actual biological children, but her stepkids with her ex-husband.
Yeah.
Okay. She told us her story. She said that the affair perpetuated and caused those kids to not want to have a relationship with her. Did we accuse her of lying? Did we say, no, Marge, there has to be more to this?
There's more.
No way. No way that they could just stop talking to you because of the affair. Not if you raised them as your own. How could they? No way. No way that they would just completely ghost you.
And how would that have gone over?
Exactly.
So
why do they do that? It's none of your fucking business.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what irks me is that, like, they don't even know her that long. So, and I get like, she's on a reality show, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not going to buy into all of that because she's already said what her truth is with the brother and all that stuff. I don't need these women who barely know her. Well, there's more here. Instagram only? No, there has to be more. Who the fuck cares?
Well, here's the thing.
Stop it.
They're on a reality show, so I absolutely validate the fact that they're talking about this, period. I know we don't think that they have any business talking about it, but that's the truth. Friends gossip. They're all going to question things. Everyone's going to go, okay, I mean, this feels a little fishy, like, right? That I can get behind. What I can't get behind is the incessant prodding. I feel as though, as a producer and a viewer, if you've tried twice and she has said this is how it is, let it
stop it
the fuck go.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying, though. Like, I agree and disagree a little bit that this is the franchise that they can't let it go because it is all about family. It has a different tone. Whereas, let's say this happened on Beverly Hills and we have a newcomer that's like, oh yeah, well, I don't really have a good relationship with my brother. X, Y, and Z happened. It might be like a moment where they're like, that's kind of weird, but it's not going to get brought up again. Why? Because we don't know the brother. It means nothing to us. So like, it doesn't matter in the same way that I think that people take it in Jersey and be like, wow, this seems like there's a mirror representation between brother and sisters not getting along. Yes. And I just, I'm bored by it. I don't want to see it and leave her alone.
Well, they're also pushing towards something that we're never going to get payoff with. Like, we're never going to get a scene with her and her brother. So what are you pushing towards?
Right.
We're never going to get a payoff from that.
No. And we're never going to get like, okay, guys, here's what happened on Saturday. Like, we're not going to get that.
No.
So stop it. And she's not the one. Keep coming for her. Keep coming for her. She's not the one. My God.
I'm impressed. Because these women are difficult to go toe to toe with.
She can do it.
I'm impressed.
I mean, part of me is like, I kind of like it because that means she's in more scenes and she's my favorite. But like, don't come for her.
Yeah.
She goes, trust me, the last person you want as an enemy is me. And I believed it from the bottom of my
yeah.
from the bottom of my soul is ma. I love her so much. And I'm so sorry, Jackie, because I know that you're so insecure. What's happening is that she's just so insecure. And that's why she's like fuming at these moments. And I think also she's like, I am a friend of, they can't come for me personally. My personal story is off the table. I think that's why she's being very bold by some of these choices. But I'm so sorry. I see you and I don't see you. Okay. And that's all I'm going to say.
I just feel as though, in a way, I feel as though Jackie's kind of falling on the sword for being the one to kind of start all of these conversations.
I guess.
I do. I feel like Marge is like, woo, good, great. Jackie's doing it. Jackie's doing the work.
But if Marge thinks she's walking away with her hands clean is silly. She is doing half of the work.
She always thinks that she's walking away with her hands
I'm
clean.
embarrassed then. I'm embarrassed. Because one thing I will say about Marge, I do think Marge is quick and she's smart. And if she really thinks that she's getting away with these scenes looking good, that's embarrassing for her.
Well, I don't know if she thinks that she's getting away with the scenes looking good.
She might.
But I think that she feels confident that she's getting away with these scenes looking smarter.
Well, I'm embarrassed again.
Oh, talk about embarrassment. I'm embarrassed for that fucking hat she's wearing. Marge.
Oh.
Here's the thing.
You
can't
are
with the hats.
hating on those hats.
Well, she fucked me up that one episode. She fucked me up. So now I can't unsee it.
Yeah.
Every time she walks into a scene, I'm going, what kind of fucking hat is she wearing today?
It's flashbacks to that
No,
one
I
hat.
can't. It's the hat and the fucking carpal tunnel brace.
Oh,
I feel bad that she has carpal tunnel, or no, it was a surgery. She had hand surgery.
Yeah.
I feel bad that she has that. But I can't take her seriously when she's trying to have these contentious type of conversations and she's wearing that fucking hat and she's wearing the fucking brace. Yeah, it's every scene. I mean, the arsenal. How do you feel about this? How is your opinion about what Danielle said using the term arsenal? How Rachel then fed it back to Marge? Like what is your, what's your conclusion on that?
Well,
You're like, I don't give a fuck.
I hit the snooze, but then I got with it. I just think it's a bunch of bullshit. I'm going to stand with Danielle because watching that scene when she was talking with Rachel, I felt it was a very casual conversation and she was still kind of relaying like the conversation she's had with Teresa and Jen. And she was just like, this is kind of the impression I'm getting. Like the impression I'm getting is that, Marge has an arsenal full of like weapons of secrets and stuff. That's kind of the impression I'm getting.
Yeah.
And that to me is all it was. And I do think that Rachel knew what she was doing when she went to Marge and kind of relayed this information. You go, that's what I heard. That's what I heard. But it's like, you knew what you were doing. And I don't think that Rachel really in that moment talking to Danielle really thought that Danielle meant a lot of harm by that.
Of course, but it was plausible deniability. She knew,
of course,
that Danielle didn't mean it that way.
And she knew that Marge would take it and fucking run with it.
And what was so difficult watching Danielle try to stand up for herself in this moment was that there was no way out. Because what Danielle said, there's kind of...
It's what she said.
It's what she said.
Yeah.
So it sounds bad, but poor Danielle's like trying to articulate that that's not what she meant in context. It was just... arsenal, like she just used that word. It didn't have as much weight.
She doesn't know how to spell it.
I know. Oh my God, I was like,
loved
what?
It.
So it's a hard point to argue because she's like, well, fuck, I know I said it, but that's not what I meant. But that's how it came off. But that's not how it's supposed to come off. And Rachel knows that. So Rachel told her, and now I don't know how to argue my way out of this because there's no way around it. There's no way to say that like, hey, I didn't mean for this to have as much weight as it does.
Yeah.
But there's no way out of it.
Well, the reason I knew that Rachel, when she was speaking to Danielle in the moment when this happened, knew that Danielle really didn't mean it in any certain way was because after this scene happened with Marge, and Marge be kind of like, I got to go get more water because she's kind of unleashed on Danielle. Rachel was like, oh, are we good? Are we good? You're not looking at me. Are we good? Like talking to Danielle. Like she was trying to like wait for Danielle to be like, no, we're fine. It's okay. Like she seemed like she was like, oh, I think I kind of fucked up with Danielle. And now I need to make sure like, oh, we're okay. I mean, I was just speaking my truth, but like, I don't want to mess things up for you. Like, are we good? Why are you so worried?
For me, what I was annoyed at is exactly what you just said. She waited until Marge left to then be like, are we good? Are we good? Well, why didn't she in the moment go, look, Marge, I know that I told you that Danielle said this. I got to be honest. When we were talking about it, it was very casual. And I don't think she said it with any malintent.
Yeah.
But she never really does that. She just is very matter of fact. If she stays neutral and stays down the middle and just says, well, it's just what she said, then she feels like she's not culpable in this. But what she should have done was said, look, it is what you said, and you need to own that. But at the same time, I didn't necessarily take it as though you had any malintent behind saying that. I thought you were just being matter of fact. But that's not what she does. She kind of skirts around that, and she kind of says, like, I didn't think that it was a big deal. You know, it's just conversation. But she never actually stands up for Danielle, which is why Danielle doesn't have the voice to tell her, no, not everything's okay. But at the same time, she likes her. So she doesn't want to be mad at her, but she's like, well, fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck off. You know that this was going to have a consequence. You know that Marge was going to feel a certain type of way about it.
Yeah.
And what would lead me to believe that Rachel would have known that is the fact that Marge got so upset with Jen. I mean, look at the fight we had to endure at Jen Fessler's house between Marge and Jen Aiden. And the fight was over the fact that Jen Aiden is telling people that Marge is a certain type of way. What does the fucking matter with Danielle repeating this when we already know that Jen Aiden has said it? Who fucking cares?
Yeah.
And not for nothing, why does it offend you? If you don't have an arsenal, then who fucking cares?
She does.
No one cares. And what's even more annoying is that there have been other cast members in recent history who have said the same fucking thing. And none of us took it like a big fucking deal. We all knew what they meant by that, Jackie. Jackie's the one that initially said something adjacent to what Danielle said. You never want to be Marge's enemy. What? Because Jackie said it cheeky and it was in jest? It's no big deal? Well, if Jackie feels that way, why can't the others?
Yeah. Well, Jackie said on Watch What Happens Live, it is better to have Marge as a friend than an enemy.
But why? And is it okay for Jackie to say that because her and Jackie are friends?
Yeah. Yes.
Just because Danielle says that doesn't mean that Danielle's going to hate Marge. Doesn't mean she's going to go against her. Doesn't mean anything. She's just repeating. This is why we hate these people.
Yeah. That's why, because we can have the same story. It's about who was saying it and the impact on who they're saying it to. Correct. We can say the same thing. Like, for instance, Jackie's saying, oh, yeah, it's better to have Marge as an enemy than a friend. That lands differently for Marge than Teresa or Jen saying that because they don't have a friendship. But, I mean, no one really has a friendship with Marge. So,
nope. It's a lot of hypocrisy on the show.
Yeah.
It's a lot of you fix it, your problem. No, you fix it, your problem. No, well, you said Arsenal. Well, Jackie said Arsenal, but it's no big deal. Like, it's just
Yeah.
Stop.
I mean, I went on record saying that I really thought, and maybe this will become true again once Beverly Hills starts to air again, but I said that I really believed that Beverly Hills was the most hypocritical franchise.
Yeah.
But really, this Jersey is, I think, taking the crown.
Yeah. The amount that we see of them getting mad at each other for the exact same thing that the other one does is mind blowing. It actually makes me feel more dumb.
And also,
like, I feel emotionally stunted after I watch a Jersey episode. I'm like, I need to go to therapy. Like, I need to go back, emergency therapy session ASAP, because I left that episode feeling like I don't know what I watched and I don't know what I experienced. And in order to process that, to understand what I'm repressing, I got to go to therapy because I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that they get it.
No, they don't.
You know who the only one that gets it is Dolores.
Oh,
Dolores is the only one that gets it.
I love her.
She's the only one that gets it.
Dolo can never do wrong by me.
But the JJ told me that she got a facelift. What was happening in her confessional? Because I was just blown away by the hair, and I literally wrote in my notes, I was like, wait, is that Dolores? And then you told me that she did something to her face, which I feel like I didn't even recognize.
It just looks a little lifted. I mean, she looks great. This is
good.
No judgment. I'm just saying that she looks a little tighter.
Well, she kind of looked unrecognizable to me. But I think some of it was the hair, and then I had to do a double take.
She looked hot.
And she is hot.
Yeah. I like the hair, though. I like the change.
I do too.
I also feel like she may be influenced a little bit by Pauly. Not in the sense of like, oh, I'm changing for him. I just mean, you know.
She's fresh. She's
exactly.
looking fresh.
She's looking fresh. She wants to change it up for Pauly.
Yeah. Oh, I love Dolores. And you know what? I love that no matter how many people are like, oh, we think Frank's kind of sad. Like,
I don't give a fuck about Frank being sad.
The dynamic's changing. And Dolores is like, he's fine. I just love, and he is fine. Dolores needs to live her life and be happy with Polly, and I'm here for it. I am here for it.
Okay, were the men talking about Frank showing up on his boat?
I don't know. I couldn't
understand. I was like, wait, is he?
Yeah, I didn't know if they were saying he was working or something, but he cried the night before, so I don't know if he was like, I don't
sorry, to laugh. I just
You don't remember that part?
No, I don't. And
well, maybe it wasn't a full cry. It was like a tear up or something.
What was he crying about? I don't remember.
About Dolores, and that Dolores wasn't staying at his place.
Oh, that's right. I do. It was at night, and they were at the house.
And she's like, that wouldn't be respectful to Polly. And he's like, you gotta fix it. Fix it.
See what I'm saying?
He goes, fix it. And Dolores goes, there's nothing to fix. And I was like, yeah, baby.
What the fuck is with this cast and the fix it?
Fix it.
Fix it. Fix it. It's like, how fucking reductive is that? Fix it. Fix it. I'm
they have got to fix it. They have to.
But the thing is that they have to know what to fix first. And it's themselves. They need to fix themselves before they can fix others. Like, stop saying Dolo, fix it. Fix
the oxygen mask. Put it on yourself before you put it on your baby or before you put it on Frank. Put it on yourself and then give it to Frank.
Stop telling Dolores to fix it. She is not your wife anymore. If you want this fixed, you've got to fix it.
Yeah, you have to make the changes. You got to be comfortable that the dynamic's going to change. That's just what it is.
He needs to get the fuck over it. Like, be done.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Leave her alone.
Get out.
Do something. Or do nothing. But shut the fuck up about it.
Right now. You don't know that one.
No, I don't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that fell flat.
It's the end of you and me.
What song is that?
It's by JoJo.
Oh, I'm definitely not going to fucking know that. JoJo?
Yeah, it came out.
The Disney star?
No, a different JoJo. This one we were in like high school.
Who's JoJo?
Well, that's her only name. I don't know what her last name is. She was a well, she only had 2 hits that I know of, but it was when we were in like, I think
you're the only one that knows those hits. Because I think
people know the Get Out Leave song, which I just sang. Get out, leave right now.
I don't listen to that. I'm 90s grunge. I'm sorry. I don't.
Okay, Cranberries.
That's right. That's fucking right. That's fucking right.
I do love a zombie. Anyway, anywho.
Okay. So we're going to get into it.
Oh, God.
Must we? Yeah. We must.
Okay.
We must. It starts off
horrifying.
Well, yeah. It starts off kind of talking about, again, the wedding. Melissa's mom being invited. They bring up that the night before, Louis was looking for Melissa's mom to catch her to invite her to the wedding at the last minute. Okay. Melissa is bothered at the fact that Teresa has explained to people that the reason why she didn't want to invite Melissa's mother to the wedding is because then she would have to extend the invitation to Melissa's mother and family members. She doesn't say it, but we all know she's talking about the sister-in-laws. Mm-hmm. Okay. Melissa's upset because no matter what they've gone through, that doesn't mean that it gives you the right to disrespect her mother by not inviting her because of what they've gone through.
Yeah.
Okay. Doesn't track. Melissa, yes, because of what you went through, that absolutely gives Teresa every fucking right not to invite your mother. But let's really call it what it is. She doesn't want to invite your mother because she doesn't want to invite your fucking bitch sisters who have been nasty to Teresa this entire time.
Correct.
Okay.
Well,
get over it.
Yeah.
I'm sick of it. It's not a disrespect to your mom. And every time Melissa says, you know, I just don't get it. I can't wrap my head around why she just can't do the right thing. Because that's what you would do. It is the right thing for you.
Yeah. I feel like, especially in this scene, when they're all talking about it, like, oh, even Melissa's like, you know, I'm kind of hearing things that like she has a problem with my mom or she's saying bad things. And then, you know, X, Y, and Z. And then it kind of pans to Teresa. And because people are talking about this, people are like, well, Teresa, why aren't you inviting her? And she's like, I would have invited her, but they didn't come to me. Melissa and Joe didn't come to me. I didn't know, which is a whole other thing. But pan to, I hate to bring her back into our recap, but pan to Jackie. Jackie in the same, like, the same moment when Teresa's saying that, Jackie's like, oh, I can hear Teresa talking about it. She's talking badly about it. Well, the only reason they're talking about this on camera is because Joe and Melissa have brought this up. They brought this up, 4 episodes ago when they had Melissa's family over. Oh, were y'all invited to the wedding? No. Oh, no, we weren't. No. What? The reason that this is coming up on camera is because Joe and Melissa wanted it to come up on camera. Now, I get it. Teresa is the one that did not extend the invitation. It's not lost on me that it could have come up because of that, but they are the ones bringing this to light. So the argument of, well, why are we talking about this on camera? Well, why don't you look to your best friend, Melissa and Joe, who are the ones who brought this up? Who the fuck cares if Teresa doesn't want to invite them? As you pointed out in one of our other recaps, this is her second wedding. Let her do whatever the fuck she wants to do. And I got to be honest, she doesn't like Melissa. So why the fuck does she want to invite her family?
Thank you.
I just don't care.
But here's the thing.
I don't care.
And I don't give a fuck what the reason is either. I don't care what the reason is. If it's because she doesn't want to spend money per head, I don't care. If it's because the sisters and the mother did something to Teresa and she doesn't want to invite them, I don't care. It makes no difference to me. It could be a head count thing. It could be I don't give a fuck thing. It could be I hate Joe thing. It could be I hate Melissa thing. It makes no difference to me what the reasoning is.
Yeah.
It is her fucking prerogative because she's paying for the fucking wedding, who she invites.
Right.
And this idea that because it's family, they have to invite family, I can't get behind it. And I wish Melissa would get off the bone.
Yeah. Well, right.
Like, get off my dick with this. Shut up. I'm done.
Well, and Melissa keeps saying, like, I just don't understand. Like, I just don't get it. Why? I don't understand why you don't understand. You've been part of this family for years now. You're confused as to why Teresa wouldn't invite your family. Like, that to me is when I think she's being an actress.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you would do that. Well, I'm confused why you don't understand. And also, you're the one that brought your mother up on camera. So if you didn't want your mom talked about or your sisters talked about, then don't bring it up at all. Because I'll tell you what, I know for a fact that the wedding is televised. I will tell you for sure, and I will only speak for myself, but I think I can probably speak for other people, but I will only speak for myself. I could have watched that entire event. Yes, I would have noticed that you and Joe were not there, but I'll tell you what, I would not notice if your mom and your sisters were not there. Nobody else would we would not have known and we would not have cared.
I don't care.
So you're the one that you and Joe are making this a story point. And yes, Teresa can fumble and be like, oh, well, if she told me that she wanted them there, I'm not getting on that train. But I don't fucking care that they're not invited, and let it go.
Okay.
Let it go.
That's what I mean. Be offended. Fine. Be offended that they didn't invite your family. But the more you keep on talking about it, you look stupid.
Yes,
because if you're not invited to a wedding in the first place and you're holding on to it, that means you're holding on to being accepted by somebody who doesn't want to accept you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's embarrassing. So what?
Yes.
You're going to push and push and push and push and talk and talk and talk and discuss about this over and over and over again for what? Them to be ultimately invited? Then they're invited, and then you know why they're invited. Because you wore her down. I don't want to be invited to an event that way.
No.
I don't want to wear down a person to invite me somewhere.
No.
That's embarrassing.
No.
That's embarrassing.
But remember, Melissa tells Louise, or Louise, sorry. Okay.
Louise?
Remember, Melissa tells Louis that her mom is obsessed with Louis. She's obsessed with
weird.
you.
Stop.
She's obsessed with you and the kids. Well,
no.
I mean,
I also don't give a shit about Melissa's sisters. Those thirsty sisters.
Yeah. Didn't you say that they were always trying to get onto the show and they were rejected?
Melissa and Joe, for years and years and years, tried to pitch and push bringing Melissa's sisters onto the show. Now, in theory, it makes sense because there are so many layers, right? You would want more family dynamics. But that's how low rent they were. That even though it should make sense to bring them on, because you would think that it would propel and elevate the show, because it's a good storyline. Even then, nope.
I'm so grateful.
Same. To my understanding, they just didn't feel like they were like the right fit. Like they just didn't I think that they didn't feel like they
belong.
yeah, I think that they felt probably that they were a little too thirsty, a little too try hard, like a little too like cheap.
Yeah.
Like maybe cast members who would work well on an MTV show.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. It's no shade. That's just the truth. Like sometimes some people just aren't a good fit. Like Corey on Winter House. He felt like he should be on Jersey Shore. You know what I mean? That's what I mean by that. They just didn't think that they were a good fit.
Well, and obviously there's a reason, right? Because they would have made it happen if they could have.
That's correct. That's correct. So it just feels like very, very, very try hard. And in this aspect, I kind of feel bad for Melissa because she's the baby. And I feel like she takes the brunt of the sisters' bullshit. That's just what I feel. That's my gut telling me that I think that she's had to take a lot of shit from them.
Maybe.
Yeah. All right. So back to this wedding fiasco. It just blows up from there because then Louis takes Melissa aside and wants to have a one-on-one with her to discuss.
Take my hand.
Okay. How did you feel about that?
It's like inappropriate.
It just made me really uncomfortable.
Take my hand, child. No, I don't need that.
Nope. It just made me uncomfortable. Yeah. It felt like a crossed boundary. It just felt like personal space. Like I need you to just back up for a second. And it also kind of felt a little ostentatious to me. I don't believe that Louis does that normally. I don't think that's a patterned thing that he just, to make people comfortable, wants to grab their hand.
Yeah.
It felt ostentatious. And to me, just in general, Louis always seems to know the right thing to say at the right time. Mm-hmm. And it just feels a little too therapized, but in a way that whatever he's learned from therapy has made him evolve into a better person. But then whatever he's learned in therapy has also made him use it and weaponize it in a way where he knows the right thing to say in the right time in the conversations so that he can present himself as a certain type of way. When in reality, I don't know if that's truly who he is.
Yeah.
He's kind of tough to read, right? Because I think you said it best. You were saying at times I just kind of like don't know what to believe. But that to me means that's just how fucking good he is. And the dead giveaway is saying the weird comment about wearing Nonno's PJs.
Oh my God.
Like,
that was so awkward.
I don't even know what that equates to. Well, I wear Nonno's PJs while I live in the house with the girls to make them comfortable.
Make them safe and make them loved.
What?
Like, to make them feel loved and make them feel comfortable, I think is what he said.
What the fuck does that even mean?
I don't know. That's why he's a question mark to me, because like someone who's great at manipulating and doing stuff like that would have the wherewithal to know that that's incredibly inappropriate and very creepy.
But that's my point. He knows that that's inappropriate and creepy.
Does he?
Maybe not creepy, but he knows that that's like, I think that he knows he's trying to ruffle his feathers.
Yeah, he's trying to have a jab at him, being like, but
that's the thing that's the first thought you had? That's what rolled off the tongue, is to say that you wear Nonno's PJs. What?
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
That was disturbing on so many levels, I gotta be honest.
Where did he go digging in boxes for Nonno's PJs? Like, did Teresa just unpack her dad's clothes and put them in a drawer to keep his memory alive? Like, why? Where? I mean, not that this matters, but like, how is he accessing these PJ pants? Where are they coming from?
I mean, she probably does have a couple pairs, I would imagine. But I mean,
but why would that make somebody comfortable? Like, he thought that was like a smart thing to say.
It wouldn't. He sounded psychotic.
I know he did. And I know he meant it to ruffle his feathers. But why would he think that? I don't know. I just feel like, say something different. Say something that's smarter. Say something that's going to ruffle his feathers, but also not sound creepy. That's what I mean. It's like, what?
That's the thing. Joe, I don't think Joe was like, oh man, and threatened. Joe was like, what the fuck is this like Norman Bates situation? Like, I can't.
Yes. Joe's face was like, I don't know what I'm listening to right now.
He didn't have a response. He didn't even know what to say.
Because he was trying to process, like, wait, you're wearing my dead dad's pants?
Because your four nieces feel loved and secure and safe. It's like, wait, what?
It felt really weird.
Yeah, I couldn't gauge that scene, like what he was trying to convey, other than like saying that I'm the man of the house and like you need to respect me because
I'm wearing your dad's pants.
I'm wearing your father's pants. Okay. And I'm making your nieces feel safe, which is something you never did.
Well, maybe that's what he meant. Maybe it was like a figure of speech.
No, I don't think so. I think he physically put on those pants.
Yeah.
That was so weird.
It was weird.
That was one of the few times that I'm like, all right, Joe, I'm with you. I'm with you on this one, bud.
Well, also what was weird is the flip side, right? We see Teresa's conversation and she's like, Joe needs to go to therapy. And Melissa too. She's got daddy issues. I'm like, wait, what? I was like, how does having daddy issues have... By the way,
Episode was all over the place.
Right. Teresa and Louis have daddy issues. We've got fucking Louis saying he's wearing Teresa's dad's PJ pants. And then on the flip side, we have Teresa saying that Melissa has daddy issues.
Because she's also wearing the daddy's underpants.
I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
So then we see Jackie chiming in. Was it Jackie?
Oh, God, yes.
Don't say that.
Shut the fuck up, Jackie. I think that's what she says to her.
Fuck up.
Yeah. And she did.
Yeah.
And,
then Jackie's like, oh shit, I just met the match, right? you see her kind of cower down a little bit. Like, I mean, Teresa, I'm like, Jackie, don't fucking start a fight that you can't finish.
Sometimes it's not worth it. Just sit out.
She doesn't know how to do that.
Just sit out.
She just forgot that it was Teresa that she was talking to. Everyone else, she's chimed in and she knows that it's probably not going to have the same type of reaction. But Teresa, she forgot for a second. She was like, oh, fuck. I forgot that I'm talking to Teresa.
Yeah.
And she's an OG.
Yeah.
And then she remembers rather quickly when she tells her to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm glad.
And then also says, this is therapy. This is your therapy. And it's just like motioning to the alcohol. I'm like, what? Look, Teresa's gone mad. Like it was rabid. Like I was like, are you okay?
Yeah. She was done. But it's just hard to have a scene with these people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and honestly, we had little glimpses of fun, but nothing in this episode was fun.
No, not
and
a single
I really,
fucking
really
thing.
missed that. And I honestly wish we could have had even just 2 or 3 minutes just with the guys doing cornhole or something.
I mean, we got a little bit of it at the top,
not
but
very much.
We didn't get enough.
But I just like this group, they have fun and they have comedy moments and I wanted to see that and I didn't see that anywhere. And I get that it was jam-packed with a mess of, content, but...
Well, it's Joe and Teresa's fault. They're the ones that are keeping this group divided. I mean, look, I'm not putting all the responsibility on them, but it is causing a rather large point of contention with everybody.
Because everyone has their side. But I honestly think that...
I also think everyone's trying to help because they're over it too. I think everybody's over it.
No, I don't agree. I think that they like to be divisive. I think it's easy to have a side. I'm sorry. You think that Marge is trying to tell Melissa and Joe to see Teresa's side and to get over it? Oh, well, who cares if your mother wasn't invited? Get over it. Go to the wedding. Marge isn't saying that, at least not this time.
I know, but I think Marge is also trying to have Teresa understand where Melissa's coming from.
That's not the same thing. Because that's still having Melissa's back.
All right, cut this all out.
The same way that Jen's not going to Melissa and being like, all right, let's just cut the shit. Like, Teresa's fucked up, but like, let's come together. Like, nobody's doing it, is what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. This group likes to be divisive because it's easy. It's easy to have a side. It's easy to pick a side. It's just what it is. I'm sorry.
I know. Look, here's the thing. I don't disagree. I understand what you're saying when you're saying that they like to be divisive. But I also think that there are some people who actually just kind of are trying to push us in a direction of getting over it. And I know that it's under the guise of taking sides, but I don't necessarily think that it's completely 100% rooted in that.
What do you think it's rooted in?
I think half of it is, I want to take a side. And I think the other half is, well, I also want us to push this and get it along.
Well, I mean, you have to be tired at this point.
But that's my point. I think, how can the cast not be tired? No one wants to live in this space forever. It's unfun. No one's having fun. No one is having fun. No one.
Well, I think it won't be forever. I think it's ending this season.
Yeah.
I just hope they take Marge with them.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of where we end up in this conversation, right? They end up all under the little atrium, all talking about it and fighting. Louis steps in and is like, Teresa, stop. You're not listening.
Yeah.
Because after they're talking, fighting, Melissa's like, fuck it. She says fuck it because Teresa can't let it go that she did not stand up for her when Marge was talking all that shit about Louis, or perceived shit about Louis.
Yeah.
What I can't wrap my head around is why have you seemingly forgiven Marge and moved on, but you can't move on from the fact that you feel as though Melissa did not stand up for you. This is what I mean. It's always something, and it changes in every scene. It's Melissa didn't stand up for her. Oh my God. Okay, but I don't get it. And then 5 minutes before that, it was, well, they didn't come to me. If they had come to me, I would have fixed it.
Yeah,
no, she wouldn't have. She would not have fixed it. She would have been mad that Melissa made it a big deal. This is my problem. I know why Melissa and Joe didn't go to her, because Teresa would have been upset that they're making a big deal about wanting to invite their family to a wedding that she has. But then Melissa doesn't go to them, and it's, well, you should have come to me. I would have fixed it. And then 5 minutes later, it's, well, I'm upset because you didn't stand up for me when Marge was doing X, Y, and Z. It's never enough. And I know that the Melissa haters out there are not going to agree with me, but this is why Melissa leaves the conversation, because it's so exhausting. I understand that Melissa's
Teresa
in the
also
wrong.
leaves too.
She does. And then they all come back. It's just like a nightmare. It's chaos. It really is. It's chaos. And then Louie's weird in this too.
He is really weird. He has a very weird moment when he was specifically talking to Melissa. But also,
I think that he tries too hard to do the right thing in a way that feels disingenuous to Teresa. Like, Teresa didn't want to invite them, but then he goes behind her back and tries to invite Melissa. It's like, well, I don't understand here. You can't be the good guy. But then he says that I'm a good man. If you have to say it, yeah, I'm leading to question that you're not.
I do typically always believe that. Like, if you have to say that you're a good guy, you're probably not. I feel like he does try that. That's why I'm saying he's a hard one for me. Because I typically, especially working with domestic violence victims and stuff like that, I feel like I have a pretty good eye when I see people on TV, oh, I can read the number. I got it. He's a trickier one for me because I do think he can be manipulative. I think there are things that we're not seeing. I do see some hints of aggression, but also what we're seeing is that everything he's trying to do is, and somehow, whether he's doing it the right way, is trying to kind of better her situation. He does want her to go to therapy. He does. The only reason she quote unquote gave an apology to Marge was because he encouraged her to do it. The only reason she reached out to Joe to invite him to her housewarming party was because he encouraged her to do that. So he, whether it's manipulative, whatever the reason is, he is trying to put motion with her to make amends and do good things. I just don't know. I don't have enough information to say right now that he is really manipulative and a bad guy. I don't have enough information.
And I agree with you 100%. And for our new listeners and those who don't know, Betsy used to work at
the domestic violence hotline.
Yes.
Yeah. A lifetime ago, but
yes.
It sticks with you.
I agree with you. I'm not saying that he is nefarious. I'm not saying that his sole intention is to be manipulative. I just think that he plays both sides of the same coin in a way that makes me feel that he undermines Teresa. I don't like that she made the decision not to invite them. And he knows that. We see it earlier on in the season where he tells Joe at Guys Night, I told her it wasn't going to be a good look. That's to me where it begins, which I can get behind what he's saying. But even Joe's like, oh, you did? It to me is almost in an effort to show Joe, see, this is your sister. I told her it wouldn't be a good idea. To me, that's not kosher, but I let it slide. And then as we continue, he does the same thing. He knows that she doesn't want to invite them to the wedding. We don't see a scene where Teresa and Louis talk about what if they invite them. That leads me to believe that Louis has not discussed with Teresa about inviting Melissa's mom. It's off the cuff. It's a flash in the pan. It's a moment. He's like, oh, you know what? I'm going to do that. But why? Why now? We have not seen anything leading up to this point that it might be okay to invite them. You're doing this, and I'm led to believe that you're doing this without Teresa knowing. That's undermining to me. What that does is it completely devalues everything that Teresa has set up to this point. What it says to me is, well, I know Teresa's wrong, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. That's undermining to me.
Yeah.
And I don't trust that 100%. I'm not saying that that's his entire motive, but something in the buttermilk ain't clean. It feels a little off to me. And I know that he's trying, and I do think there's an aspect to him where he is doing his best to mend fences. But then at the same time, he does these little other things that are very nuanced that don't feel authentic. It feels just a little bit like 5 steps forward, but I'm going to take 2 steps back. I know she doesn't want to invite, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. then why didn't you do it earlier? Why are we waiting until now? I don't like it. It feels off to me, and it makes Joe and Melissa feel crazy.
Is there any part of you that thinks that he didn't even say anything to the mom though, and he's trying to play both sides? I tried to find your mom last night, but I couldn't find her. But I really wanted to. I really wanted to invite her, but I couldn't find her. Part of me also feels like he got such a bad rap last season that he's trying so hard to swim upstream and be the good guy. He wants to be the good brother-in-law.
Overcompensating.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I don't. Yeah. Now, when you say it like that, I think there's an aspect that it could be that.
I don't know.
I just think at the same time, though, he's not being truthful to what we've seen he and Teresa talk about. And that to me feels like you're not thinking then. I understand that you may be overcompensating, but it kind of just puts a wash on everything. And then I think it makes Melissa and Joe kind of feel a little like crazy because they're like, oh, wait, so it is okay to invite. Like, imagine getting worked up for weeks. Even if we don't agree with why they're getting worked up, imagine getting worked up all for them to be like, well, if you had just come to me, we would have changed it. And Louis to go, well, I'm just going to invite him right now randomly. Then what was it all for? If that was the case, then what the fuck was it all for?
Yeah.
You drove them mad, even though I don't agree with it. They need to get over it. But at the same time, they needled, all to go, well, could have just come to me. That's gaslighting. That makes you feel crazy.
Yeah.
Because it's a lie. If they had come to them before, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. They came to them about the engagement party and the seating, whatever, even though I don't think that Melissa and Joe are completely being truthful. They came to them and look what happened. It just, no. No. Then Melissa and Joe try to leave and they can't back out the car.
Oh
it just felt so dejecting.
I just love that Joe was like, Melissa, you get in, he's like, I'll do the signs or whatever, get you out of here. And he couldn't even do that. And then they had to have Louis come move the car.
See, but that's another point. Louis and Joe get into it for a second. And Louis like, this is what he wants. And then turns over his shoulder. He's like, Joe, don't leave, Joe. Don't leave. I'm like, what? That's what I mean. That's shit.
Don't leave.
He ends up going after them because he doesn't want them to go. And then he goes to their car and he's like, guys, don't go. Hold on. Let's talk about this.
Oh, when he's at the car. Yeah.
So then in that conversation, now I understand it because I've done this, right? I may not agree with someone, but I'm also hearing them out. So I don't fault him for that. He does hear them out. But in a way where I'm just going, you literally were just like, he's doing this. He just wants this. He's doing this on purpose. He wants you to be upset.
Yeah.
It's too whiplashy for me that it's like, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
I don't know what to believe. All I know is that they hate each other. That's all I know.
They hate each other, and unfortunately it's going to stay that way.
Yeah.
Hopefully the wedding is nice. It obviously is because I guess they're not there, but it's kind of sad in the same way. But
by the way, before we go, I just want to point out this one thing that actually made me laugh out loud hysterically.
What?
Was when at the moment that Melissa finds out what Teresa supposedly said about her mom and that it's because they had a falling out or they've had problems. So that's why she didn't invite her mother and how disrespectful. I quote, or paraphrase rather, I never thought that would have come out of Teresa's mouth. I was like, Melissa, well, y'all drive me fucking insane. Yeah. You could have never believed that would have come out of Melissa's mouth. I think
she's acting. That's what I was saying
Teresa's
earlier.
Mouth?
When she's like, I don't understand why she's doing this. Yes, you do. If you don't understand, then I'm worried. Like, that's why I think she part of that I think is put on for the camera. Like, I can't believe she would do that. Yes, you can. But you were trying to play it up so much because Teresa's the bad one. Just the same way that Teresa does it for her as well.
Yeah.
You know?
100%.
I can't believe, Melissa's not helping me out with my brother. She should want my brother and I to get along. You think that's from season 3? No, that's from season 12.
Yeah.
It's all threaded through. They do the same thing. So absolutely she believes that Teresa didn't invite her family, but it's on camera because she wants to really drive and just beat the narrative that it's the right thing to do. What did my mom do to her? I don't get it. I just don't know why she would do that. How could somebody do that? Fuck off.
I know.
Fuck off right onto the acting lessons down to the right.
They're all predictable.
It's
They're
upsetting.
all predictable. It is upsetting.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, what? It's my vape pen.
Oh my God, I thought it was a bug.
Okay.
I really did.
I can't. Honestly, I cannot.
I did. That freaked
like,
me.
You scared me.
Oh, that scared me.
Oh my God. My nipples just got hard.
It looked like,
oh my fucking
it looked like a roach.
Okay. It's my fucking
You can
gay
cut
pen.
this out, but that fucking scared me.
This is staying in for sure. For sure.
Okay, there's no roaches. There's no roaches, but that I got spooked. I got spooked. Just like this season of Bravo.
It's honestly this season because it's been the last year. Really? Bravo has scared us into
this
a
whole
coffin.
season of Bravo has
Honestly,
been so scary.
I feel like buried alive. Like I honestly feel buried alive with Bravo this last year. And we're almost hitting a year when Beverly Hills started and we had to start that fiasco. I just feel tired. Honestly, I feel like a prisoner of war. Honestly, I feel like a prisoner of war Bravo. And I'm like, I don't even know what to think. I don't know what to think.
Oh my God.
I don't know what to do.
It's been a lot.
And then this episode ends with the mid-season trailer. Got excited until...
Oh my God.
I told Betsy earlier that I saw that Jackie was on the trip and she was like, no way. And then
I almost cried.
I know. And then
I really did.
We watched it together and
she paused it.
You were, you were hoping.
Well, I really thought because when I watched it, it all went so fast and I was like, I couldn't really tell because Jackie has no speaking lines, which hopefully that still stays true to what we see. But it happened so fast that I didn't really see her in it. And then JJ goes, well, she's going to be on the Ireland trip. And I almost just fell to the floor and started crying. And then she showed me again and I saw it.
Here's the thing. Mid-season trailer or not, I could have told you that she would be on this trip because Dolo owns the trip. Dolo's not going to not invite Jackie. Come on, get a grip.
I won't.
It makes me sad because I did not have a distaste for Jackie until this season.
It's changed. Well, I never liked her until her last season, so I was very backwards. Didn't how many seasons
Yeah,
was
she was a little
in
sanctimonious for me, but she just kind of was a non-entity to me.
Her last season, what year was that? Was that
I want to say that was her
fourth?
fifth season, fourth or
Okay.
fifth season.
Yeah, that was her best. That was her best look, and then we have this.
She was just a non-entity to me.
There's just too many women. There's too many women already in this franchise. I just don't need her.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, looking forward to next week's episode.
I am looking forward to next week's episode.
Well, we don't really know what next week's episode is, so
it's going to be a surprise. Can't wait.
Surprise and delay. Yeah.
Groundhog Day.
Should we make a bet if Jackie's going to be in next week's episode?
She is, because they're going to pick up back on this trip.
God damn it. Okay.
I just need you to start accepting
I won't.
that she's a part of the show.
Well, I mean, I do accept that, but
But you want her to be a part of the show, but not in any scenes.
yeah, I want her to be like when they cut Teddy out of that Beverly Hills episode.
Or when they cut Tracy Barber out of the reunion.
Yes. Yes, I do.
I do think that they've cut a lot of her things out. I think they've cut a lot around her in these scenes.
That's so embarrassing.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I'll say. I'm coming across as like the biggest Jackie hater. I'm really not. I just can't stand her this season. And I want her to stay out of stuff. I feel like she's trying to make a name for herself. You already have a name.
But it is. It's
Step out.
It's very much like Teddy at Kathy Hilton's dinner party. Well, I mean, I'm like, Teddy,
Stop it.
Like, I forgot you were here. Stop.
I just want her to relax.
Well, it's also Teddy at that scene when they're in Italy. We don't care that you're the one that said it about Denise. She tried to do something big there, and it just
I can't talk about that season. That season is a red season for me. I watched it once. I'll never watch it again. I know
you were terrorized.
I can't do that season ever again. But yeah. So Jackie, you can hang around, but be a friend of. And
she is a friend of.
Understand that. And understand that you're a friend of.
Well, Jen Fessler's a friend of.
Well, and I honestly didn't even realize that until tonight.
Yeah. I'm telling you, Jackie was much more involved and they've done a lot of cutting around her. I can just tell.
Wish they would have cut a little bit more.
Look, be blessed that you get what you get. Okay?
What do you mean?
That they cut around her a lot. You could be getting more of Jackie.
Oh my God.
Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Count your fucking blessings, okay?
Well, I'm not doing that right now because I'm angry. I'm not gonna count any blessings with her. I'm not gonna do it.
I'm gonna be one of those toxic positivity people and tell you that there's always a silver lining and she could be in these episodes more. And she's not. So. All right, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us on our Jersey recap.
Please.
We appreciate you.
Yes, we do. Please, if you don't mind, please like, subscribe, comment,
and follow us.
And follow us.
Please like and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts.
We appreciate it.
Bye, guys.